Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and today we've brought both of the Aston Martins outside of London to take them for a drive them back to back, and explain a little bit more about the differences between the two cars and why I love Aston Martin so much that after only just buying the GT8, I've picked up the Vanquish Volante. So first, let's talk about the two cars, and I've parked them up because obviously I've been taking photos of them sat here, and I know on the face of it, they basically look like two pretty similar cars. They're both blue, both Aston Martin, and both built in the same factory, but they are so different as cars and driving experiences. So on the GT8 front, you've got the V8, of course, both naturally aspirated engines, but you've got the V8, a manual gearbox, coupe, very much racetrack focused. It's hardcore, it's noisy. In fact, well, they're both quite noisy, but it's very much stripped out track car. On the other side, you've got the Vanquish. You've got the V12 engine, and you've got a kind of GT characteristic through the automatic gearbox, and obviously it's a Volante, it's a convertible. So that one is for driving gently, motorway experience. That one is for driving hard, mountains and racetracks. So although they look quite similar, they are really different, and I'll talk more about that when we're out on the road in both cars. But also, I wanted to touch on why I bought the Vanquish, given all the sort of other options I could have perhaps picked up. And basically, I had so much fun buying the GT8, the experience, the ownership, picking it up, doing everything with the factory. They welcomed me in, they were so lovely. Stratstone Aston Martin looked after me so well as well, buying the car. And I kind of appreciate that so much, that the feeling and kind of emotional connection with the brand basically led me towards buying this one as well. And no regrets so far at all. We've done some decent mileage just in a couple of days, and very much enjoying it in a very big way. So it's kind of a hard one to explain how you get that connection, but I really enjoyed my first Vantage about 7 years ago, if you followed me back then, and the GT8 mirrored that, exactly the same exciting experience, being welcomed in, feeling part of it all, and the Vanquish has done the same too. So we're going to take these out, drive them both. For the drive, I am going to be joined by these two, who don't know I'm pointing the camera at them. We've got Joe Achilles, and we've got STG, Mr. SeenThroughGlass, having his breakfast in front of his Biposto. So they're going to join me in the two cars to enjoy the ride here, or the drive, and take the two cars out. But let's just quickly, before we go, let me show you the interiors. You can see even here the difference between the two. So Vanquish, very much more comfortable seats, leather. It's the carbon edition, like I said before, so you've got the 177 style squared off steering wheel, the automatic buttons to control it, but basically the same kind of central console and waterfall feature. And then coming around to the GT8, in here it is bucket seats, Alcantara, and much more stripped out, as you can see, with the orange stitching and stuff as well, and the gear stick in the center. Good old 3-pedal format. So, enough talk, let's start driving. Given it's the newer car, I'm going to jump in the Vanquish first, which means giving the key to the GT8 to this man.
Oh yeah! I can't wait to drive it. It is it's a GT4 replacement in a kind of way.
Yeah, but it's a little bit shoutier and even more boisterous. And we know, if you watch the Fuel Faction stuff, you'll know how much Joe enjoyed GT4.
Absolutely. And I've just got to try not to stall it, because I think Ben might have stalled it once or twice. So
it might have happened. I'm sorry, Ben, that I might have told him that. Well, look after GT8. I'm going to drive the Vanquish. We'll head on out with the two cars, and this should be pretty fun. Fingers crossed I have the right key here. They're both the same. These are the valet keys, not the glass ones. But the V12. Off we go then in Vanquish, and I'm driving in drive, so full automatic mode. You can put it in D, or if you use the paddles, it stays on the paddles, which I really like, so it doesn't sort of revert itself back into automatic. I am in sport mode. I like it in sport, just slightly sort of quicker shifts, a little bit more noise coming from the car, but the exhaust has the valves opened. It came like that, so I'm keeping it like that. So you basically get a lot of noise, although when you've got the GT8 driving with you, this kind of becomes almost insignificant. When it's on its own though, it's a very nice loud noise. So driving with the roof down is kind of interesting, because although you're really rather exposed to the elements above you, with the wind deflector up and all four windows up, because you've got sort of small rear windows too, it's actually not very windy in here, which means you're warm. You've got the air conditioning blowing if you want warm air or cold air. You have ventilated seats as well as heated seats. So I've got those on as well actually, because it is quite warm and I'm enjoying the sort of cool air in the base of the seat and in my back as well. But it just kind of cruises along. It's super, super gentle. In this kind of mode, it's basically a relaxed Gran Tourer, which is exactly what I wanted it to be. When, however, you pop it into sport, well, under manual on the shifts, and start toning it up a little bit, it changes character completely. And you get all of that going on. You've got a lot of noise now. Because it's an 8-speed box, that does mean if you want to drive manually, you end up shifting quite a lot, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, you see why. So, National Speed Limit Road. It should be fun. Woohoo! Playful thing. So you see, that's basically where the car comes into its own, and the noise of the GT8 behind as well is just, I don't know. I like shifting up and down just to get as much noise out of it as possible. Don't be fooled into thinking the Vanquish is not a fast car. We've got 576 horsepower, 0 to 62 is something like 3.7, 3.8 seconds. Top speed is about 200 miles an hour, and it is quick, very, very quick. Woo. There's something amazing about seeing your own car being driven and hearing that. My goodness. Oh, it's ridiculous. Now that's been quite fun, and Sam's been in GTA.
I can't hear you, what?
Pretty much, that's it. It's stupidly loud, right?
It's mad, and the thing is, you get the start up, you're pulling out of the car park, fine, pull out the first junction, gun it, and you're like, oh my god.
What happens is the valves open at one stage, and you think that's the noise,
sure,
and then they open again at about 4,500 revs.
It's beautiful though, it's
and
amazing.
It's just all around you, sound dominating everything.
Completely, exhilarating, adrenaline rush, I feel exhausted.
But the ride's not too bad, is it?
No, apart from when I look back at my footage from my camera, which was like this.
Wobbling everywhere.
It feels quite comfortable,
yeah.
Strangely, when you're bouncing around the road.
But Joe, who's been driving it, do you like it?
I loved it, yeah, absolutely. I've just had to rehydrate because I think I've lost a bit of body weight. Yeah, it's hard work, it's manual labour, but it's
didn't
awesome.
stall once, did you?
I didn't stall once.
Which is good.
There we go.
Camera.
Yeah. Well, you guys enjoy the Vanquish now. Work on that sort of tan, and letting your hair blow in the breeze, especially Sam. You'll be enjoying that. I'll swap round and jump into GT8. We'll go back out on the roads. Go on there, Joe, start it up.
Isn't that the cue there?
Oh, there it is.
Banter!
It helps. Perfect. Very nice. So we will jump in here and we will make the Vanquish look like a schoolboy's toy by starting this up. You can't hear it? No, I can't hear it. You clearly did lose your hearing in here.
Hybrid, right?
Definitely an electric car.
All right then, to the roads. Okay then, away we go. And I shot a video driving this car a little bit more properly recently actually. Hope you've already seen that. Just close the window so we don't get some wind noise causing us problems. But driving along, like we were just saying, it's not actually that rough. Yes, it's a track version of a car, but it's a car that you can sort of comfortably drive. It's just quite hard work. Short drive, no problem, but on a long drive, you'll notice the clutch pedal is really hard, so your left foot's going to get tired. The steering is very heavy, but that's part of the driving experience, and that's what makes this car so fun to actually drive hard, when you can push on and sort of get on it. But the noise is the real thing about this car. The sound is just mesmerizing. As you're going to hear more of shortly, but you've probably already heard quite a bit. So the road opens up to national speed limits, which means it's about. This thing is just incredible, and the others will just have had a whole earful of noise. Slightly dodgy shift, excuse me. Oh well, extra blips is no bad thing, is it? So in here, substantially less power, only 446 horsepower, which I say only, that's actually still quite a lot. 0 to 60 is sort of mid 4 seconds, so it's quite a lot slower. Top speed, I don't actually know the top speed, it must be a 185, 190 miles an hour, obviously with a lot of downforce with the wing and the splitters and things. That causes drag, which lowers your top speed but gives you cornering grip. But it's all about the gearbox, the 6-speed manual gearbox, mated with the naturally aspirated engine, and just that old school driving feel in a very modern, exciting car. Because it's a car that's, you know, this is only a few months old, it's built now, it's up to date in terms of reliability, but has that kind of old school traditional feel and experience, which is why it makes this quite intriguing package. And being only 150 of them built, it's also, you know, a little bit additionally special as a result of that. What is quite interesting is how obviously the cars are so similar in terms of the entertainment. They have the same entertainment system, menus, interfaces, buttons, the haptic controls on the waterfall feature, carbon fiber dashboard, the same sort of rev counter displays with the opposite rev counters that go the wrong way round. So there is a lot of similarity, obviously, because they're similar era Aston Martins, but there is so much that's different when you're actually driving them. They basically are just completely different cars, and you wouldn't sort of realise that they came out of the same factory unless you actually sat and properly were trying to think about it and work it out. Is this, though, driving this car generally is, you just don't really get the full appreciation for what it's about. You need to be pushing on harder on sort of countryside roads or a racetrack. And the roads open up again. It's so good when the valves open up. Not a bad day then, lovely weather, amazing cars, and really enjoying this. Having a good time driving them both back to back with these two, who I hope are having fun. Sam is clearly having fun. Well, you've just been following GT8 now, so you've heard it from the outside.
Which is even louder.
Yeah,
so
with the roof down.
Yeah.
And now I was talking about deafening you, or trying to deafen you.
You did.
But it is amazing to me how different the two cars are. How you've got the GT characteristics and the boisterous, shouty, sporty characteristics. Actually, come and check this out while we're here. The way that it's all sort of completely cut open, inspired by the GT car. It is very dusty on here and dirty. That is why it is PPF'd by Topaz. So PPF on there, and then wrap on the Vanquish. But we parked them again for a few more photos. We're going to go and shoot a video as well for both of these guys' channels. So go check them out down below somewhere, description box. And then later on head back into town with these two. Okay, it's quite cliched, but we brought the cars to posh wash. The GT8 I want to clean up because I'm going to be storing it for the next couple of weeks, and basically I want to cover it up, so get rid of all the dust and dirt. Like literally, I can write my name on there. So let's get rid of all of that, get it clean so I can take it to the storage, cover it up, then we'll take the Vanquish home. But also, Joe's still here, also inside is a car Joe has not seen before. There was, and hopefully there still is, a Lamborghini Centenario.
Amazing.
So we're going to have a look at that as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll leave that here for the moment, lock it up, and take the GT8 inside. The LT is here as well, and we're going to be taking that back over to the storage later on. That's having the tyres swapped back over to the Trofeo Rs, ready for enjoying in Italy and the like, and a clean up, of course, as well. Hence we're at Posh Wash. But up this away is the other car we've come in to see. Here we go, the Lamborghini Centenario LP770-4. There are only going to be 20 of these built, the coupes, and there's one just chilling here in the car park right now. It's got like a satin pearlescent white, lots of light blue touches all over it, so you've got sort of the A-pillar all the way up through here, Centenario logo. Look at the interior, look at the blue of the interior. That is bright, very bold on the steering wheel as well. Look at this, look at those intake vents. That's ridiculous. Four-wheel drive hypercar, yours for about £1.5 million or something like that, from Qatar, with a very devilish number plate as well. Goodness, that is hypercar material right there. Carbon wheels, It's like an Aventador on some super steroids. It's kind of an Aventador that has Hurricane styling to it, if that makes sense. Full carbon body, obviously. Yeah, casual. Just a Centenario, nothing to see here. Fast forward like magic, and we've put 2 of the cars away. The 2 Astons we've brought back, so they're both cleaned, covered. Obviously, I still haven't replaced that cover. I don't know if I'll ever end up replacing that cover. Kind of does the job. And then the McLaren is going to go right here, so we'll go pick that up again from Posh Wash now, with its tyres on, and then all will be done for today. We have now jumped into Joe's M135i, which is quite a well-known car on the internet. Well, if you watch Joe's video, he is basically Mr. BMW. Doing quite a lot of videos about BMW, and a pretty hardcore BMW fanatic, I think is fair to say.
I am, yeah, a bit obsessed.
Probably in the way I am now about Aston Martins.
Yeah.
But we're on the way back to McLaren, and off camera, on the way back to the McLaren, and off camera, Joe just revealed to me that he might actually have stalled the GT8 earlier.
I had to be honest, you know, like, fair play, you know, like...
Busted.
Just the once, though, and in reverse, so does that count? Or was that even worse?
I don't know. Anyway, it's a hard car to drive, that was kind of the point.
Yeah.
So we're going to go pick up the McLaren now from Posh Wash, and then take that back over to the storage to wrap it up as well. The final car is parked up, the McLaren is all done and under its cover as well, but I've actually now got to zip off for another flight. As always, more adventures coming right up, but today has been pretty fun, taking out the 2 Astons and basically letting you know why I love Aston Martin. And I've got to ask the question to Joe here, do you now love Aston Martin?
I absolutely love it, yeah, for sure.
Quite
I can't
fun,
stop
right?
grinning, yeah.
2 completely different cars, but so immensely awesome in their different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got quite a lot more adventures coming with both. You will have many more times to drive.
Yeah, thankfully.
And like I mentioned earlier, guys, Joe and his 135i, go check them out if you want to see some BMW stuff. I've got to shout out the M135i, right?
Thank you very much, yeah, absolutely.
But for now, we're going to say goodbye to these 3. I need to, like I said, pop off to the airport, so I'll wrap this one up there. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers!